Alright, it's tribulation day 107. The world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. A quick note, thanks for all the inputs that I'm getting from a lot of different people. I really appreciate it. And, if you're recommending for me to watch a video, believe me, I'm watching that video. The East Coast of the United States is kind of recuperating from Hurricane Irene. One comment that I get from some of you is, you go to the Bible, which is okay because I quote from the Bible and reference the Bible, and I'm going to reference from the Bible today. But you go with the hey, it's not the tribulation, the 7-year tribulation, the big tribulation, the whatever tribulation. Well, yeah, whatever. Once again, listen up. This is my witness to the tribulation that I'm witnessing. So it started 5/15/2011. And since that date, the world has just gone one direction, south, into the toilet. So, is there a bigger tribulation coming? Is there the official tribulation coming? Psh, most likely, But what I don't need to do is argue about it, because this, tribulation 5/15/2011 is my witness to the tribulation. With that being said, I'm going to stick to the topic that I've been on for the last blog or two, which is the real crazy stuff, the conspiracy stuff. And, I was making the argument of aliens and angels, or, aliens versus demons. And, that there was two ways of looking at it, that aliens were demons, and the other way to look at it is demons are aliens. And, what I'm going to do is keep moving forward the idea that demons are aliens, and that aliens are not demons. So, in other words, if you look at it that demons are aliens, then there actually are no aliens. So I know that goes against a lot of scientific type thinking, because with the billions and billions of galaxies and planets, there should be life everywhere. It should have evolved everywhere. You know what? I don't buy it, because I don't buy evolution, thinking that we all came from one cell that somehow mutated over billions of years to produce all the life that we see. No, I don't buy it. I'm a believer in God, that there's a grand architect and a grand plan. And that to be successful, we need to understand it and to follow God's will. And that what's happening in the tribulation that I'm witnessing is good versus evil. And the evil is taking on many forms and many shapes and many organizations. But all the sinister forces are aligning and coming together to establish a new world order, which will be an order that does not acknowledge the existence of God, or is worshiping a false god. Call it Lucifer, call it Satan, call it money, materialism, call it humanism, call it whatever you want. But it's just not worshiping God. And so I'm going to just kind of continue with the thinking here. Demons are aliens. Makes a lot of sense to me. The whole idea that, in the beginning, God actually assigned a crew of aliens, or of angels, excuse me, to help manage the earth. According to the Book of Enoch, and I don't have the Book of Enoch, I'm going to get a copy of it, so I'm just kind of going off of stuff I've read. But my friend gave it to me a couple of years back. I just didn't read it that thoroughly. But, in theory, this band of angels were sent to Earth to help manage Earth and to help mankind. And there was 10 leaders, and they had various names, Michael, Gabriel, whatever. And each of them was assigned to teach man something different, mathematics, medicine, but, the theory is they taught man some things that we probably should not have known. You know, I'm thinking slavery is one, because I don't think us keeping each other as slaves is natural. I think that's something that was taught to us, you know. But the theory is we were also taught the art of warfare. So that's why to this day we're killing each other, which the demons, I'm pretty sure, are happy with. You know, because that's part of their plan, is that if we all exterminate ourselves, they'll be jumping for joy. So the theory here is that these angels kind of lost their focus on who God is, and they started acting as gods and thinking they were gods and trying to build their own hierarchy and pyramids of power here on earth. And humans, more than likely, in a lot of places, were worshiping demons as some kind of god. That's my theory. And of course, the Bible references back in the book of Genesis, verse 6, that the sons of God, which I believe are angels or fallen angels, had sex and mated with the daughters of men. So I've been a believer for quite a long time, because you know, that there's hybrids on the planet, and that what's really been going on for thousands of years is a battle between humans and hybrids. You know, and the hybrids being the descendants, the Nephilim, of the fallen angels, the demons. And their plan is just to destroy as much of humanity and to establish a new world order where they are ruling us in total bondage and, you know, against God. So, you know, one thing, when we look at all the ancient ruins around the planet, you know, like, you know, the Great Pyramid and Stonehenge and, you know, the pyramids over in Mexico, and there, you know, down in South America, it looks like there's big landing strips. You know, I'm thinking, you know, if you look at it from the other angle, that aliens are angels, you would say, oh, well, then there is no God and there is no angels, that aliens landed and built all that stuff and gave us all sorts of technology and knowledge. But once again, I'm going to go down the path of demons are aliens, so there are no aliens. So these angels that God sent to us to help teach us, they're the ones that gave us all the technology. And of course, the book of Enoch was a patriarch of God, a prophet, and supposedly he wrote a book of knowledge, and he is maybe the founder of the Freemasons, the secret societies that to this day are here, you know, doing stuff. And, you know, the Freemasons, I view them as a dark occult. And even though, you know, what's odd about America, I believe America is good, or Americans are good at least. But one thing that's always bothered me is that the influence of the Freemasons and the Masonic order, you know, it seems like it's everywhere. Pictures of George Washington wearing a Masonic apron, you know, Masonic symbols on our money, Masonic pentagrams in Washington. You know, the evidence is everywhere that there's some kind of occult influence. But I believe the Freemasons, you know, their influence probably in the, you know, the Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds, you know, that's the rule by secrecy. And, you know, they not only control, you know, America, but they control the whole world, you know, so they pit us against each other. That's how they keep us off balance and not focusing on what they're doing. But just kind of going back to what I call the pre-Diluvian or pre-flood period of time, which is, you know, before Noah's Ark and the world got flooded. You know, you know, the Bible kind of tells us that God destroyed the world because of its wickedness, and I think there's truth to that. But the wickedness wasn't just, you know, drinking and having sex and murder. It was also, you know, evil against earth and God himself. You know, the hybrids, genetic experimentations, and of course the Tower of Babel, where they were building a tower that would reach heaven, God. And that statement always bothered me, because I was thinking, man, how you can't build a building that goes to heaven? That just, you know, we got skyscrapers today that are taller than the Tower of Babel. But I'm thinking the reason the thought is out there is because these angels, you know, which are then known as the fallen angels or the watchers that have now become the Greys, possibly. You know, maybe because they're no longer aligned with God, they don't shine with the brilliance of God. They're a dull, lifeless, gray color. But I'm thinking back in the pre-Diluvian world, you know, they had knowledge, and what they didn't have was the power of God. So you know, since they were called the fallen ones, you know, I don't believe that they could ascend to heaven anymore. So what they went about doing was developing their own ships and rockets. So they were the ones that were building the rockets back in the days. When you see the drawings, the paintings, you know, the Aztec paintings, one thing that's sort of common about all the, quote, UFOs from the pre-Diluvian world is they look like rockets that we would use today. You know, most of them have like flames shooting out from them, you know, so which, you know, to me, it's like a dry rocket fuel engine design, you know, and I think, you know, the reality was they were the ones, since they had fallen from heaven, they were trying to fly back up to heaven. I know that sounds crazy, and you know what? They failed. They couldn't do it. It's impossible. But when you read any of the descriptions from ancient text, you know, even from the Bible, anytime they're talking about something coming in the sky, they're talking about thunder and flames shooting out, all of which sounds like rockets we use to this day. So, you know, post-flood, in the modern world, I think they possibly gave us this rocket technology that we used in World War II, and eventually we used to go to the moon. And, you know, it's a known fact that Hitler and all his scientists were into the occult. And then there's this other guy, Jack Parsons, an American in the 1940s, who was, you know, his school records, you know, he went to college, but nothing he did in college really showed that he was a genius, but people consider him a genius because he designed the rocket engines that we're using to this day. And he was a known Satanist who followed Aleister Crowley. And, you know, I'm thinking, you know, some information I saw was that the astronauts, you know, a lot of them were all 32nd and 33 degree Masonic Masons. You know, it seems like I found a picture of Buzz Aldrin on the moon with the Masonic symbol. You know, he took the Masonic symbol to the moon. Why the hell would you do that? You know, what's up with that? So nothing about the space program or landing on the moon makes any sense. And now, you know, we killed our shuttle program, and already the Russian rocket going up to resupply the space station failed or disappeared or got shot down, hard to know. And in the news they're saying that they may have to evacuate the space station and get all the astronauts off of the space station. So once again, nothing adds up when it comes to space, and there seems to be this occult connection to space, you know, demons trying to fly back up into heaven. And of course we've got comet Elenin coming in with everybody with predictions of doom and gloom and Nibiru, you know, of great earthquakes and the end of the world and whatnot. And I'm just thinking maybe all that ties into what's going on with the space station too, because if you got this crazy comet coming through, you know, why in the hell would you know, want to keep the space station or the shuttle program going? And, you know, the demons, I think they know what's coming. So, you know, what they're doing is heading into the lowest parts of these underground caves and survival bunkers, thinking that they can somehow, you know, make it through. And maybe they can, because, you know, one thing I think about the flood is they said only Noah and the people on the ark survived. I don't know about that. You know, I think there could have been other survivors. So even when God says he's going to destroy everything, you know, maybe sometimes there's a path through the tribulation, you know, whether you're evil or good, you know. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. The tribulation continues. The weather is blazing hot. That sun is more intense than ever. I got the dates of the planetary alignments with comet Elenin. You know, the 9/11, 9/26, October 17th, I think it is, and November 22nd. You know, big days where we might be seeing some major earthquake activity, man. Only time will tell, but we're going to get there. Prepare. Have supplies, just like the people, Hurricane Irene. You know, get some extra food, whatever it takes, you know, and help your neighbor when the time comes. All right, peace out.